Judge rejects call to disqualify Steely and Clevie's attorney from Reggaeton lawsuit. A federal judge in California has ruled against a defense motion to disqualify attorney Garth A. Clark from Steely and Clevie's Production Limited massive copyright lawsuit against over 160 reggaeton artists, producers, and record companies. We're going to get into that breaking news shortly, but in the meantime, if you want the latest and the most dynamic topics in dancehall music, reggae music, hit the subscribe button if you're not yet a subscriber, and remember to leave a like. It will be really appreciated. In an order handed down on Friday, January the 17th, which was obtained by Dancehall Mag, Judge Andre Birat Jr. denied the contentious motion and also declined to impose sanction on the defendants for filing it. Steely and Clevie's lawsuit, initially filed in 2021, alleges that their Fish Market rhythm, released in 1989, was unlawfully used as a foundational element in the reggaeton genre without proper credit or compensation. Well, people, mind if I just step away from the article a little and just say that the first time I was being introduced to reggaeton, I was like, whoa, this sound like a long time dancehall, back in the days dancehall, to be totally honest. Alright, enough of me, back to the topic at hand. Although the lawsuit cites over 1,800 songs for infringement, experts estimate that the rhythms boom chi, alright, I'm going into in a melodious form, boom chi, boom chi, boom chi, boom chi. The rhythm boom chi percussion has influenced over 80% of all reggaeton's production. Fish Market first gained popularity in Panama, Puerto Rico, and New York after its use in Shabba Ranks and producer Bobby Digital's 1998 Dembow. And the song they go, Dembow, 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 head under, so you know say Dembow. Yeah, that song there. So who don't know the rhythm must pick up the rhythm of that song there. In November 2024, the law firm Prior Cashman LLP, representing over 100 defendants in the case, raised concern about Clark's role in the 2020 copyright registration process for the rhythm. The Prior Cashman defendants include Louis Fonsi, Daddy Yankee, Justin Bieber, J Balvin, Carol G, Stefflon Don, Sony Music Entertainment, Universal Music Group, Warner Chappell Music, and Hypnosis Sound Group. Separate attorney representing Bad Bunny and DJ Snake had also co-signed Prior Cashman's motion to disqualify Clark. Give me a second for this untimely interruption. The first time I came across this, I was like, yo, this major. I wonder if Steely and Clevie really have grounds and basis for their accusation, for their lawsuit that they're filing. And to be totally honest, the judge in this case is hinting that they do. And from you see how these artists and music groups are lawyering up Steely and Clevie onto something major. Alright, back to the news. According to them, Clark had informed the US Copyright Office, USCO, that Fish Market was first published in Jamaica in 1989. However, due to the lack of copyright relations between Jamaica and the US at that time, the application was initially rejected. Clark then claimed the work was first released in New York in 1989, which led to the registration approval. Prior Cashman argued that this reversal tainted the registration process and that Clark's involvement potentially made him an important witness in the case. They also alleged that Clark was added to Steely and Clevie's legal team in August 2024, specifically to prevent his testimony regarding the registration process. This, they contended, violated the advocate witness rule, which prohibits attorney from acting as both legal advocate and witnesses in the same case. Well, people, stick up in the next untimely interruption. This Prior Cashman team trying to beat the case on some form of technicalities, but to be totally honest, and if we're being honest, if you're not coming out and saying stuff like, no, we don't copy your thing was here before yours, not some little technicality and think that you're going to win. Maybe you're going to win in the eyes of man, but in the eyes of God you won't. And I don't want to sound religious, but it is what it is. Alright, back to the topic. Steely and Clevie countered that Clark's communication with USCO was standard practice and consistent with the actions of countless other attorneys, including members of the defendant's own legal team. They also contended that the advocate's witness rule only restricts attorney testimony during trials, not pre-trials proceeding. They further alleged that the motion was filed in bad faith and requested that the court sanction the defendants for what they described as a tactical maneuver to disrupt their legal representation. While finding the defendants' argument unconvincing, Judge Birat Jr. determined that they were not frivolous enough to warrant sanctions. The case will now proceed with discovery, the process of exchanging information and documents before trial. Alright people, even though I'm a Jamaican, Steely and Clevie is Jamaican. I have many minds to this issue right here because there's a lot of way you can look at it. Instead of trying to sue a whole industry, why don't you just go ahead and work with them? Or like basically you're saying you're being robbed of your intellectual property, but you could look at it like you created that whole industry. I think some middle ground can be found in this without anybody feeling left out. I went ahead and took the liberty to look up the origin of reggaeton, and Google response was, reggaeton is a modern style of popular and electronic music that originated in Panama during the late 1980s and which rose to prominence in the late 1990s and early 2000s through a plethora of Puerto Rican musicians. It has evolved from dancehall with elements of hip-hop, Latin American, and Caribbean music. And the reason why I search for that is because I want to know really and truly how true these brothers, Steely and Clevie, story can be. How true it is. So by the looks of that, that didn't really help. So I went deeper. I asked about 1970s reggaeton because I wanted to listen. I didn't find anything I could listen. The reason why I wanted to listen because I wanted to compare what it sounded like before the boom chi boom rhythm was released. And that was released in 1989. But when I went to 1970s reggaeton, what I came up with was this. Okay, let's read together. Reggaeton originated in Panama in the late 1970s, influenced by Jamaican dancehall and reggae in Espanol. The genre early pioneer included Nando Boom and El General, who blended Spanish lyrics with dancehall beats. Early reggaeton artists, Nando Boom, considered a godfather of reggaeton. His songs Elos Benia Dembow popularized the dembow rhythm. El General, a pioneer of the genre, his song Tu Pum Pum is considered one of the earliest reggaeton tracks. Shabaranks, a pioneer of the genre, his song Dembow was covered by Nando Boom. So basically, AI or Google is saying Nando Boom is considered the godfather of reggaeton, and his song Elos Biena Dembow popularized the dembow rhythm. And basically, when you say popularize the dembow rhythm, this is what Steely and Clevie is talking about. It is used almost in every songs in the reggaeton genre. I'm not trying to belittle reggaeton because that track, the Fish Market rhythm, is a nice rhythm. All when me a look youth, it them thing that rhythm lives in my head rent free. Boom, ch, boom, ch, boom. Even right now, if I'm anywhere by myself or even I'm with crowd or anything, it's like a relaxing feeling, just like having that rhythm playing in your mind, or even just making the sound. Yeah, so I'm not trying to belittle reggaeton, but what I'm trying to say is you hear it in almost all of reggaeton songs. I'm not listening to any reggaeton of lately or in a while, but normally when I hear reggaeton, you can hear that type of melody or that type of drum set in it. And what I've said earlier, I'm still sticking by that. You can't really like pattern certain thing like you want to pattern a whole industry. I'm not with that, but truth is truth and right is right, and Law is law and rule is rule. So if Steely and Clevie want to go by the rules, that's their choice. Leave your thoughts in the comment section and remember to leave a like. And thank you for listening and thank you for watching.
I mean, I say, yo, dancehall info. You know the thing going on from them bring across the info, it for bingo, full stop, comma. Jaja, what may I say, dog?
Full stop, comma, Jaja. That's all right, man.
Yo, I mean, I say dancehall info, you know the thing going on from a bring across this info, you know. Full stop, no comma. That for bingo.
Fact.
It far away. Yeah.
You want to tap a cam?
Yeah, I mean I say top of cam. And you know say a two picture we sell on the Benz that land. Richer than Matalan. Yo tell them stop the cap now fam.